Hi, everybody. Happy Sunday evening. Let's write a comment and see if it works here. We'll see if everything's working. So make sure you type something when you come in so I know that the comments are coming through. Can everybody hear me okay? So let me know if you can hear me all right. Hi, Pat. Oh, Jackie's in Door County. Hi, Jackie. Yeah, it's a hot day, Marianne. It's a good day for staying inside. I've been inside for 3 days. I like, oh, Teresa's riding in the car. I have a lot of people that do that. I always seem to catch people in the car. It's been a good weekend to stay inside. So is everybody hearing me okay? Really need to go mow my lawn, but you know, it's just too hot. It's just too hot outside. Everybody hearing me all right? Is the sound okay? I'm trying to make sure I don't hit anything. The Facebook's been a little flaky. So it says there's only, I guess we're back to 7. So you can hear me all right. All right, good. Well, we'll wait a few minutes to make sure everybody gets in here. So we're going to do some quilling tonight. So quilling is the art of paper rolling. And I've been doing this for a really long time. I had a couple people ask me about the quilling, and they said they don't have a scan and cut. And that's fine. The scan and cut, what I'm going to do with the scan and cut tonight is we're going to cut out the gift cards like this. But if you don't have a scan and cut, you can just buy these little gift cards and put the quilling on the gift cards. Okay, so you don't have to have a scan and cut to do this. But we're going to make it into a scan and cut class because I wanted you to see how I did this part of it as well. So we're going to make the little gift cards. We're going to make the little inserts. We're going to write on them with the scan and cut, and then we'll do the little quilling. So quilling is paper rolling, and I learned to do this as a young girl. I mean, I might have been 12 or 13. And so the one that I did, the one Poinsettia here, is actually like, it's an ornament out of an old set of ornaments that I had. So here's an ornament out of that same one. So this one's a little bit bigger. So just a second here. I always, this new interface has lots of things that pop up on me. All right, so here's the little ornament. And so you can also use quilling instead of putting it on the gift tags. I just thought this was a different little idea. Instead of putting it on a gift tag, you can just make ornaments out of them. And I'll show you the quilling in a little bit. We're going to start with the scan and cut and the cutting part first, and using the scan and cut, and then I'll tell you what you need for the quilling. Okay. So you don't really need a lot of equipment for quilling. When I started doing this when I was 12 or 13, I think I had a quilling tool and a ruler, and that's about it, and some Elmer's glue. So you don't need a whole lot to do quilling. There's lots of patterns out there, and it's actually kind of popular again. I think with the card makers and the scrapbookers, I think are doing the quilling to add to their cards and stuff like that. So I'm finding that more and more people are starting to quill again, and you can find stuff for it in the hobby stores like Hobby Lobby, and I think Joann's even has a little bit of stuff. So, and then there's a couple of really good quilling websites online. So how do I store my quilling paper? Right now I have a tub. I'll show you. I have a tub like this with quilling paper in it. It's one of those, I have one of those little stacker things that has all the little 12-inch boxes in it. That's how I keep my quilling paper. but we'll talk about quilling here in a few minutes. Let's start with what you need for the paper, for the scan and cut step first. So for the paper that we're going to do, the stuff that we're going to need to cut for the tags. Okay. All right. So let me get this camera turned around. All right. And whoops, hopefully this will behave itself tonight. I've been having a lot of trouble with this arm, so. All right, so we're going to talk about the scan and cut first. So we'll aim it towards the scan and cut for a little bit. So what we're going to do is we're going to cut out these cards. Now these little gift cards are actually right in the scan and cut, and this shape is in the scan and cut, and so is the letters. So that we're just going to use the stuff that's right in the machine. Yet I don't know how many of you know, but there's lots of patterns in the machine. So it's fun to use it for different things. What's the stacker look like? That those are boxes. Oh, it's like one of those wheeled carts, Barb, and it's a scrapbooking stacker. It's underneath my table, so I can't really reach it. But it has like 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. It has 6 of those boxes that slide into it, and it has wheels on the bottom. So it's underneath my table, and that works really great because it has all like my paper stuff in it. Okay, and you could, I know I got it like at either Hobby Lobby or Michael's, I think, or one of the 2 places I got it, and it just had those little those 12-inch boxes in it. So it worked really great. It works great for a lot of different things. So. Okay, all right, so let's start out with talking about what we're going to do for the cutting. So the first thing we're going to do is cut out our little tags. And the little tags are going to be cut out of cardstock, so you just need some cardstock. So I've got some white cardstock. Can you post a picture of it? Yeah, I can take a picture of it later, Cindy. I've just got regular cardstock. I buy this, you know, to run through my printer. So I use this white cardstock from my printer. And then we're going to cut a couple things out of the green cardstock and out of the blue cardstock. So I've got 3 colors. And this is, I finally found some cardstock I like. It is heavyweight cardstock. So I got this at Hobby Lobby, and it's called Heavyweight. And so it actually has some nice body to it. So this worked out really well for the gift cards. Okay, so let's go ahead and let's do our work on the scan and cut first. Let me see if I can get a little closer here to the. See if I can get. Oh, thanks, Lynn, for helping me with that. I appreciate it. I'll show everybody the card before we leave tonight. Okay, so here we're going to find that little gift card. And it's just, there's several of them on here, but I just thought this one was pretty that had a little scallop up here. So I'm going to go to pattern on the main screen. I'm going to go to pattern, and then it's in this second button here. That's where most of the little patterns are, and it's down here towards the bottom, and it looks like a gift tag and a present. So we're going to touch that one. And the one I'm looking for is ARK003, so it's this one right here. Okay, the third one in. And you can see, if I go back, you can see there's several other shapes there, so you can use any of those that you'd like as well, but I just like this one, so we're going to choose that one. And then we need to make it a certain size. So these tags and a lot of these designs do not allow you to change the size independently on this screen. So this one, I wanted it to be 4 1/4 inches tall. So I'm actually going to make it a little taller, and the width is going to go up with it automatically. So I'm just going to go up to 4 1/4, so 4.25 inches. Okay. I'm sure you can see that. I think you can see it. Okay, I'm trying to get above it because otherwise you get a glare with the scan and cut. So, okay, so I've got it at 4.25 inches tall. So it makes it almost, it's about 2 3/4, a little more than 2 3/4 inches wide then. And I'm going to click OK. And it is some of these will have multiple parts of the design. This one only has one because it's just the one tag. And I'm going to go ahead and click OK. So I'm happy with that. It's 4 1/4 inches tall. It's a little over 2 3/4 inches wide. Okay, so we're just going to cut one. I want one cut out of white. So this is the white tag. Okay, and I want one cut out of green. So we're going to cut 2 of them. I'm just going to cut them separately. My cardstock's a little bit big for both of them to go on the mat at the same time, so we'll just do it independently. Okay, move this out of the way so I've got all my dimensions on here. Okay, so we're just going to cut this tag out. So this is the first step. We need to cut our tags out. Get rid of got my standard mat here. I'll pull this back a little bit. Got my standard mat. And let's do the green one first. So we'll cut up the green one out first. I'm just going to slip my cardstock on here. And I'm going to load my mat. So I'm pressing my mat up against the rollers. And remember, we have to be careful when we do this. I'm going to lay my hand down on the mat, and I'm going to press the load button on the front of the machine. And make sure that it loads nice and straight and nice and flat. Okay? All right, so now we need to finish this. So what we're going to do is we're going to do one at a time, because I've got my cardstock's kind of big and I don't have room to put them both on here at the same time. So we'll just do one at a time. I'm going to hit set. And I've got the one, but you know, my paper's kind of down a little bit further on my mat, so I need to know where to put this so I won't waste lots of paper. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hit the scanning button. And then I'm going to hit start, and it's going to scan my mat, so it'll show that piece of paper on there. So it's scanning it. You see it coming out there, okay? And it's going to come up, and now you can see the green on the screen. So that's really great, because now I can see where my paper is. So I'm just going to pull my design down so that it's easily on my paper. I don't want to waste a lot of paper, so I'm just going to kind of pull it down so that it's pretty close to the edge there. Okay, and you can see the red line probably. And I'm happy with that. We just needed to resize it a little bit, and now we're ready to cut. So I'm going to hit OK. And when I get to this screen, I'm going to please select, and I'm going to click cut. Okay, now I have in my machine, second here, let me put this up here so I won't lose it. I have my standard auto blade, which is the black one, in my machine. And this is not the one I have marked for fabric. This is since we're not cutting fabric, I'm using my regular blade that I use for most things. I don't know why it likes to do this. I'm going to back up the screen, see if I can get it. Every now and then, for some reason, my blade doesn't want to go in. There we go. I got it. So let's go back to, okay. All right. So now I'm going to hit cut again. And it's right here. And I've got my paper aligned, and we'd scanned it to make sure it was where we wanted it. And I'm just going to hit start. I'm pretty sure it's going to cut okay, because I've cut several of these today. I did some pre-quilling today, so that I had some of the stuff done, so you wouldn't have to sit here and watch me do every single little bit. Quilling is really fun. It was something that my mother learned and then taught all of our campfire girls. My mother was the campfire leader for a long time, and she taught us all how to do quilling, and that was one of the things that we did, and it was really fun. So I'm going to take this off. So I pulled off the big piece. There's my gift card. Okay. And I'm going to pull this off as well. So there's my nice green gift tag. So I've got the green one cut out. So now we're going to do the same thing. I'm going to use that same design since I've already got it the size I want it. Get rid of that. And then we're going to cut out the white one. So let me go ahead and get my white paper up here. Put the white paper on the mat now. Get that down nicely, and if you don't feel like your Mat's real sticky. Use your little, I love this tool, my little brayer. Okay? All right. So I've still got my gift tag up there, but I know that this paper is a full sheet now, so I'm going to pull this up to the top left-hand corner so I won't waste any so I have to back up the screen. So I'm going to go up to the top left-hand corner because I know, and the green's already still there, but it's okay because I know my paper's up in that corner. So I'm just going to pull it up. I'm going to choose again, cut, and I'm going to hit start one more time, and it's going to cut my white gift tag. Okay, so does anybody have questions about what I did to get my gift tag? I chose my gift tag out of the patterns right in the machine. I resized it slightly, and then I've cut it twice. So that's a very easy way. And if you want to, you could like fill your whole piece of paper with gift tags and do a whole bunch at the same time. So you can do anything you want. I'm just doing one at a time since I just need a couple tonight. Okay? So I pulled the big piece off. Set this over here because we're going to need that again in a little bit. And then we will pull our gift tag off. So there's the white gift tag. Okay? I know, isn't it cool? There's a lot of patterns in it, Denise. And so actually for the next 2 scan and cut classes, we're going to use patterns in the machine. So we're going to do some more yet tonight. Okay? Betty, your blade didn't, do you have your, you've been cutting vinyl. You said you were cutting vinyl. Is it on half cut? Make sure your machine is not on half cut. Because when you want to cut your paper, it needs to be not on half cut. So if I choose cut, you can see here, like if you're right here on the screen, let me show you. Right here on the screen. Make sure that the half cut is off. So if it's not cutting through. Okay? And this machine is one of the newer ones with the auto blade, but the older machines are done the same way. If you need to set your blade, if you're using one of the older machines, you want to set your standard blade, which is that teal colored one. You want to set your standard blade, the pressure of 0, and the depth of 4. That's usually where I cut cardstock. Now this green cardstock is a little bit thicker, so you might need to go up to about 4.5 or so. You may have to do a test cut, because this was thicker for me, so I would have had to done a test cut. But my auto blade did a really good job of cutting it. Okay. All right. So we got our gift tags. So we need to do. I also then want on my gift tags. I wanted to make them, layered. So I wanted to put this cute little layered template in there. Okay. So that's also in the machine. So let's go find that. I'm going to hit the little house button up here. Hopefully you can see my screen okay. Okay, and I'm going to hit all right. And that's also in the pattern section. So I'm going to go into patterns. So we used this button the last time. This time we're going to use this button, which is sort of your basic shapes. And the one I'm looking for that insert is way down towards the bottom. It's BAA 148. So these are the BAAs right here, but I have to go all the way to the bottom. So I'm just going to click this arrow here. It's not quite to the bottom, but it's close. Okay, so here's towards the bottom, and that's BAA 148, and it's got like kind of a rectangle with scallops on both sides. So I'm going to choose that one. Now this shape allows me to change the sizes independently of one another. So if you see here right now it's a square, so it's 3.94 by 3.94, but I need mine to be more rectangular, and I want it to be 2 inches wide, no, I'm sorry, 2.5 inches wide and 3 inches tall. Okay, So I want to change these independently. So if I just start hitting these buttons, see how they go up together? That's not what I want to do in this case. So in order to change these independently, you want to hit this little button here that has the little arrows pointing opposite of each other. That will now allow me to change these sizes independently of one another. So I want it to be 2.5 inches wide. So let's bring it down to 2.5 inches. A little bit more. Okay, and then I want it to be 3 inches tall. So it needs to be shorter. I just kind of measured my tag and found that's the size that fit my tag. So I need it 3 by 2.5. So I had to choose this little button first in order to do it independently. Okay, otherwise it's an aspect ratio. Now we could also do that here, that we could cut 2 things at a time, and I could just tell it to cut 2. But in my case, my paper is a little bit too big for the map for them both to be on here, so I'm just going to do 1 at a time. Okay, so I've got the size I want. I've got 1. I'm going to go ahead and hit set. Okay, now this little this is still that green square. So what I'm going to do is I want one of my insets to be white, and one to be blue. So let's put the blue paper up here. I'm going to put the blue paper up here on the mat. Okay, and then we're going to go back up here. So I've got my little design. It's sitting right here. If I just select it, I think you can see it with the reds right here. Okay, and I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to scan my mat. And that way it'll bring that blue paper up so I can position my design where I want it. And this afternoon I cut like 2 or 3 at a time because I was just cutting some and making some quilling ornaments or quilling tags. So I cut 2 or 3 at a time. So you can easily do that by adding more. Okay, so here's now the blue square, and my design's way up here. So I want to pull this down like that so that it goes onto the blue square. Okay, so now it's on there. I'm going to click OK. I'm happy with that. And now I want to cut that one out. And I'm going to click Cut. And I'm going to click Start. Again, Betty, check your half cut to make sure your half cut's not on. And it's going to cut out that little insert for me. And it's adjusting the blade. So bring it down so you can watch it cut here. Everybody must have been busy tonight. There's not too many people here tonight. All right, so we got it all cut, and I'm going to pull out this bigger piece of paper. And see, it's got those cute little scallops on the edge. And whoops, let's see here. I don't know if I've got my, let's bend the mat. I don't have my tool out here. Okay, so here's my inset for my white. So this is going to go on the white tag like that. Okay? And we're going to draw on this one in a minute. So let's go ahead and cut out the other one I wanted, and I want the other one to be white. So I'm going to put my white cardstock on here, and I've still got my design up there. I'm going to put my cardstock up in the corner again, and this time we'll just pull. What are we making? We are making these, Jan, we're making the quilling gift tags. We're making gift tags. So here's one and here's the other one. So we're just making the cards right now with the scan and cut. Okay? But yeah, there's so many cute things in the machine. So you don't, I mean, I'm going to do the whole next class just with stuff in the machine too. So, all right, whoops, second here. Where'd my stick go? Here it is. All right, so we need now to cut this one, but I want to make sure that I've got it in the right spot. So I'm going to pull this up to the top left-hand corner because I put my cardstock back up there. And I don't have to worry about this blue thing. It's okay, it'll go away in a little bit. Okay, and then I'm going to cut this one out. Please select. I'm going to cut. And then I'm going to hit start. And it's going to cut that other little insert out. I'm not very good about this at this paper crafting stuff, so I've had a hard time getting all the right stuff. I really like this new cardstock I found. It's nice and heavy. So it has a nice body to it. All right, so then here is our other insert. So I'm going to pull the big piece off, and there's the other insert, and this one will go on the green one, like that. And so there's tons and tons of different shapes in there, so you could have done anything you want. Okay, I just thought those were cute, so I thought that one would be fun. All right, so we have the basic cutting done. So now I want to draw with my Scan and Cut. I want to draw the word believe on this one and the word winter on this one. And these are also in the machine. So what I'm going to do first is I'm going to adhere these two inserts. And the one thing I like to do when I'm doing drawing, I kind of try to use my grids, and I want to get them on here straight. So I'm just going to place them on the mat, and I use my grid to help me keep it straight. And I'm going to put them both on this time, because we're going to do both. We're going to, oh, you know what? Let's see. I think I'm not. I'm going to just do one at a time because I want them different colors. And you can't really, you have to stop the machine. It's kind of annoying. So I'm just going to do one at a time. We'll just do one at a time. Okay, so here's my blue one. We'll start with winter. Now, winter is also in the machine. Again, under patterns. So all of these areas, and then there's another whole page full of patterns. I mean, there's just tons of stuff. These are all quilt blocks. There's more letters in here, the bigger letters. There's frames and doilies. I mean, there's just tons of really cool stuff in here, and they've changed things over the years. Like, these are all applique pieces that you can cut out of fabric. These are all really pretty because they have some like viney and lacy things. So there's lots of stuff in here. So I'm going to use these words, okay? So in the words, I want to find the word winter, because I was going to put winter on this one. So I'm going to choose this one. This is the days and the months here, but this one has a bunch of different words on it. And I'm going to go down, and they're kind of in alphabetical order. So we're going to go down to W, and I'm going to choose winter. Somewhere down here. Whoop, I think we found it. There it is. So it's AW03. So it's right here, winter. Okay. Now winter's pretty good sized. I need it to be a lot smaller than that. So I'm going to look at my notes and let's see. Winter is, I got to find it, 2 inches wide. So I want it 2 inches wide. So see, this one does not give me the options of changing them independently. Again, it is going to go down in aspect ratio, but I want the width to be 2 inches, so I know that. So I'm going to keep going down until I get to the width of 2 inches, and the height will be in aspect ratio. Okay, so the height ends up being about 0.53 inches, so it's a little over a ½ an inch tall. Okay. But what's cool about this, so we're going to draw this time with this machine. I like to draw with my Scan and Cut. So I just wanted to do one. And if I wanted it to do 2, I could have told it 2 if I had a couple. I had a couple on this afternoon, so I did both of them at the same time. I want to hit set. And I want to scan again because I want to know exactly where that little insert is. So I'm going to hit the scanning button and start. And it's going to scan the page again. No, I've spent the whole afternoon, or the whole day, basically, working with my scan and cut. I've been enjoying it. Doing 2 classes. I worked on this one for a while. Okay, so there's my little insert right here. Okay, my word is way up here. All right, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to pull it down and get it approximately where I want it, and it's kind of small. Oh, it's possible, Betty, maybe they changed it a little bit. This is a 230. They might have put it in a different spot. So, yeah, they did do a couple different little things to that machine, so it's possible yours is slightly different. Okay, so I'm going to, I got it kind of approximately where I want it, but it is kind of little and I can't see what I'm doing. So I'm going to hit the edit button, and I can make this bigger on the screen. So I'm going to hit the zoom. I can do 200% or 400%. I can bring it really big. So when it's 400%, these bottom ones right here, these arrows, allow me to move it side to side. So I need to move this up a little bit so I can see where the top of my card is. And then these buttons up here move the design. So my design needs to go to the right. So I'm going to hit the right hand arrow a little bit. And use my other hand here. That looks pretty good. And then it needs to go up a little bit. So I'm just going to move it up. But see, at this size, then I can really see what I'm doing. And this is 400%. I think I'm happy with it about right there. So it looks a lot better. But I scanned, and then I can move my words. Okay? Now, when we first got the scan and cuts, you could only do letters around the outside edge. But did you notice that these are filled? This was something they added to the scan and cut a few years ago, that we can actually color them in. Okay? So I want to color those in. And to do that, I've got my words selected over here, and I want to hit Object Edit. And then this little icon right here looks like a marker. I'm going to touch that. And it's going to open up the fill settings. I'm going to turn the fill on. And there's actually different patterns. So like if I click Fill Pattern, there's a fill, it's like completely filled. There's different lines, like boxes, triangles, diamonds. Okay, so there's different kinds of fills. And I've used different fills before, but I'm just going to use the solid one for this, okay? So I'm going to hit OK. I've got the fill turned on. I'll hit OK again. And I don't know that you can see it on the screen because it's kind of small, but it did turn my letters blue so that they look filled in now, okay? So I'm happy where my winter is. I'm going to click OK. OK one more time. And one more time. So now we're on the screen where we're ready to do either drawing or cutting. So in this case, I'm going to say, please select, and I'm going to tell it to draw this time. So I want it to draw. And I like to use, you can use the little holder. I think I've got it here in a second. This little holder comes with your scan and cut. So if you don't have the universal pen holder that I'm going to use, this is the little holder, and you just put your little pens that come with it inside here. Okay. I wanted to use some of I had more colors in my Sharpie markers. So I need to be able to have a pen holder to put the Sharpie marker in. So some of the machines actually come with this now. But this is the universal pen holder. Okay, and I can put my smaller, not the big Sharpies. You can see this is one of those little fine ones, okay? So it comes in 2 pieces. So I've got this saddle, and then this is the holder. So I'm going to put the holder in the saddle, and this is going to help me adjust the height of my pen. So I've got it loose, okay, and I'm going to drop my pen down into the holder. Whoops, maybe it's loose. There we go. Drop the pen down into the holder until the tip hits the bottom of that little saddle, like that. And then I'm going to pull up on this little ring and twist it, and then that tightens it. so I can't pull the pen out now. Okay, but the tip is down here on the bottom of the saddle. So that's how you adjust this universal pen holder. It's real easy. I'm going to take this out, and I wanted this one to be blue. Now I'm going to place this one in the machine. Okay, so I got my universal pen holder in my machine with my pen in it. I have chosen draw up here, and now I'm ready to start. So I'm just going to hit start, and it's going to draw and color in the word winter. So the first thing it does is it kind of goes around and does the outline first. I don't know if you can see it very well. But now it's going to go through and color. Now when you do the fills on there, it does take a little bit because it kind of goes back and forth, side to side when it colors. So if you have a large letter, large lettering, it may take a little bit to color it. This is only going to take about a minute. So I did some coloring. I did a class with using drawing with the scan and cut, and we made gift tags too. And then I also made shrinky-dink keychains, and we used some of the different fills for that, and that was really fun. I may have to do that again. I love shrinky-dinks. I've still got some. So we may have to make shrinky-dinks someday on the scan and cut again. It's been a long time ago that I did that. But it's kind of fun to use your fun pens and stuff. How much is that holder? The holder's about $20, I think, Jan. There's two different sizes now. This is the regular one, and then there's a smaller one. But this one that holds like pencils, this one is the regular one. Okay, so there's winter. Look. Let me hold this up so you can see it. So we got that all drawn. That look nice? So there's winter. Okay, so let's do the other one. I'm going to put the white piece on here now. So here's my white piece that I wanted for the other one. And I'm going to put it on my mat so that it is try to get it kind of straight with the grids. I think it's kind of cool. This is really, I like the drawing. I like to draw with the machine. There's a lot of things you can do with this machine. I'm just starting to touch on things. I mean, I had so much fun today. I spent the whole day in here working on the scan and cut. I haven't even been in my sewing room today. Okay, so now I got to get this turned. I have a little trouble sometimes with the pen holder, so there we go. So I got it loose. Okay, got my pen out. Now we're going to put in a different color. I'm going to put in my red pen. I've got a red Sharpie marker up here. And I'm going to get my saddle. So you have to have the saddle. And you slip this in. It just slides right in there like that with the brothers facing forward. And then I'm going to drop this into the hole so that the pen goes down to the bottom. And then I'm going to twist this till it's tight in there so that the pen doesn't come out. Okay, so there's my, you have to kind of lift up on it and turn it. You lift up and turn. So the pen holder is a little tricky, but once you get it, it's easy then. So, okay, so we're going to put the red pen in now. And now we have to go get my other word. I wanted to put the word believe on this one. So we'll do that one. I'm going to click OK. And then I'm done with winter. So if you know you want to make some more of these, you can save this in the machine. If I back up a screen, see, it'll let me save it. So if I know I'm going to do a bunch of these, then I wouldn't have to redo the size every time. But I'm done with this one, so I'm just going to hit my house button and hit OK. So I can do the next one. So the next one is believe, and it's also under pattern, and it's under the words, and under bon voyage, and then it's believe. So it's going to be like in the second or third page. Here it is, second page. So believe right here. Okay. So we'll pick that one, and again, you can see that this is grayed out, so I can't change this independently. I have to change it in aspect ratio. So this one also needs to be 2 inches wide. So I'm going to do the width here, and I'm going to bring it down to 2 inches and let the height come down with it. Yep, overshot it. There we go, 2 inches. So now this one's a little taller. This one's 0.77 inches, so it's about 3/4 of an inch high. Okay, so I'm happy with that. If I wanted to do multiples, I would choose multiples here, and I'm going to hit set. Now I've got another card on here, and I put it in a different spot. So this blue one's still showing, so I need to go down here to my scanner button again, and I'm going to scan again so that I can find that white card. So look at all the new things you can do with your scan and cut, all these different things you can go in. There's tons of really cute stuff in here to cut out. And you can cut it out of all different materials. It doesn't have to be paper. Okay, so now you can see on the screen, there's my little card, and then my design's way up here. Okay, so I'm going to pull it down and get it about where I want it. I'm going to go into Edit again, and I'm going to go into the Zoom again, and I'm going to bring it up to 400%, and I'm going to have to move this again. So these bottom ones here and these here are the ones that move it on the screen so you can see it better. So let's move it over this way and then down a little bit so you can see it. There we go. So here's the card, and I need to, it's really low, so I'm going to pull it up with my pointer first. Yeah, you know, Marianne, I think they are too. They're so much fun. So then these are the ones that move the design. So let's move it up just a little bit, and I think I need to take it one to the left. Maybe not. I think it was kind of centered. So I think that looks pretty good. Okay, so I've got it on there where I want it. I'm going to click OK. And the thing I can tell you about these machines, go ahead and play with it. You're not going to hurt anything. Just start playing through the menus to see. It's actually pretty intuitive, and it runs a lot like the machine. Your machines do, because a lot of the buttons are similar, and it kind of runs that way. So I've really enjoyed my scan and cut a lot. Now, we also want this one to be, can you fix it so it does not jump to grid? I don't understand the question, Jan. None of these are none of this is like sticking to a grid line. I need to make this filled as well. So I want to object edit. I'm going to click that little button that looks like a marking pen. I want to turn the fill on again. And then the fill pattern, if I wanted to change it, is here. I'm just going to leave it at the solid. Okay. I'm going to click OK one more time. And again, so I think I'm done with that. So you can see it's now filled in. It probably looks a little darker on the screen now. I'm going to click OK one more time. And one more time. So now I'm ready to draw this one. So I want to please select, draw, and then I want to start. And it's going to draw believe. So put it down there so you can watch it. This one's going to be in red pen. I have a couple people that are wanting to do the quilling, and like I said, you can make ornaments out of these. You don't have to put them on the cards if you don't have a scan and cut. The scan and cuts are really fun, and they're really great for applique. I mean, you know, I cut fabric with mine too, but I do a lot of other stuff with it. So really fun machine. I mean, it's very versatile, lets you do a lot of different things. I've been trying to do some scan and cut classes that are different, you know, so like they have some different techniques so you can learn different things. And the next one will be at the end of August, and I'll show you that project, and that will be the stamping, the rubber stamping. And I did that, I worked with that today, and I had a lot of fun doing that. So I'm learning about stamping. Lynn's been helping me. I'm not a paper crafter, so I'm learning a lot of new things. Okay, so I think it's getting about done. This one took a little bit longer to draw out. I really like these small Sharpie markers. They make a nice, they do a nice thin line and everything. You're using a Sharpie, can you see gel? Yes, you can use gel pens as long as they fit in the holder, Debbie. Some of those gel pens are really small. Make sure that you scribble good with your gel pens first, though, because sometimes they don't start drawing right away, like the Sharpies always do, but the gel pens sometimes are a little bit, you know, they don't start right away, so make sure you scribble before you put it in the machine. And you might need that smaller barrel universal pen holder for the, depending on how big your gel pens are. So, okay, so here's Believe. Got this one. I must have, okay, so there's that one. And that one's all drawn. Cindy, I have a couple of videos on YouTube about cutting fabric, and yes and no is the answer to your question. I put Terreal Magic on my fabric if I'm only cutting fabric and not using a bonding agent. Otherwise, I'm ironing a bonding agent. Heat and bond is specifically what I use. So I do not use Terreal Magic when I use a bonding agent. And that's the only bonding agent that I have found that really works. So you can watch I've got 2 or 3 videos about fabric cutting on YouTube under Scan and Cut, under Brother Scan and Cut. It does look a little bit black. I think I must have used that pen for something, Lynn. I noticed that too, that I must have used that pen on something, and I think I got a little black ink on it. So that was where it started. So I'm sorry. Yeah, my Believe has a little bit of black on the end, but it's going to be good enough. Sorry about that. This one's okay. I did this one earlier, but I used the pen again a little bit ago, and I think I had a little black on my ruler or something, and this one's okay. But yeah, this one looks just a little bit black on the end, so that's okay. It's fine. Okay, so now we are done with the Scan and Cut. So I'm going to eject my mat. And the next step is we're gonna put our little inserts on our cards. So I can hear, I'm gonna get my mat anchored down so it won't fall on the floor. And I'm gonna pull this back just a little bit, and then I'm gonna move this. I'm gonna move my camera here in a minute. Okay, so I want to put these inserts on my cards now, on my gift cards, so that they're ready to go. And I have this handy dandy new device that Lynn recommended. It's called the Advanced Tape Glider. It's a Scotch tape glider, and it's a pretty good sized thing. I think I got it at Walmart.com. And it works really great for putting these on, because this is like that double sticky permanent tape. So I'm going to turn my Believe over, and I'm going to run this tape along the edges. It's a little bit big, so I just wonked my camera. Sorry, guys. Just going to put this around the edges. The one thing I did find when I got this is very right-handed, so I have to run this right-handed. Otherwise, I can't see where my tape is going. Okay, so there's my Believe. I'm going to put this on the green card. I'm going to just kind of center it, eyeball it, like that. Okay, and press it down. So there's my first one, and this will be ready for our quilling here in a little bit. And we'll do the winter one. So I'm going to do the same thing. That's the only thing about being left-handed. With some tools, I found that some tools are definitely right-handed, and this is one of those tools. It's hard to see where you can run it with your left hand, but it's real hard to see where the tape's going. Okay, turn this over, and then we will center this one on the card. There we go. I'm just going to press it down. So that's that double sticky permanence tape stuff. Okay, so there's our 2 cards. All ready. Those were all cut out and drawn with the scan and cut, all the built-in designs. Okay, so is there any questions about that portion so far? I just used my cardstock and my Sharpie markers and universal pen holder and my standard auto blade, the black auto blade. Those are the things that I use with my scan and cut. Okay. Any questions about what we just did so far? So now we're going to get to the fun stuff. We're going to do some quilling now. Okay? All right, so I'm going to move my camera just a little bit because I want to go over here, and I'm just going to move my camera up, and I'm going to slide it over so that I have a little more room to sit in the corner of this table here, because I have all my stuff kind of set up in the corner here. The cards were fun. Okay. So then I can pull this down, and then I think you can be able to see what I'm doing. Okay, so the other thing I have learned, yeah, I like that Believe font. Isn't that pretty? I thought it was pretty too. The one thing that I've learned is I've been using, I love this little light pad, and it also works very well for quilling, just so you know. As your eyes get older, it's harder to see things, and I like the light from underneath. So I've been using this for my quilling too. So, okay. So, what you need for quilling, and I'm just going to give you the bare minimums. Basically what you need is a quilling tool, okay? And they'll look several different ways. They're a little slotted tool. So like this is my favorite little one, okay? And it's got a little tiny slot, and it's a real small little metal tool. And this is my favorite one that I have. And then I have a couple of longer ones. This is the one they have at Hobby Lobby. This one works just fine. And then I like this one just a little better because it doesn't have a rubber grip on it. I have a little trouble with the rubber grips because they kind of catch on my fingers. So I like these plastic ones better. And I think I got this one on eBay. But when I'm doing the real thin paper, and then that's the next thing I'm going to talk about is quilling paper. This quilling paper is the 1/8 inch quilling paper. So let me show you a piece of it here. Okay, and you can buy it in sets. Hobby Lobby has actually a pretty nice selection of colors, and there's some kind of like like variety packs and stuff. And I got a variety pack that had like Christmas colors in it there. Okay, and then there's also a nice little set there. And if you want to kind of start doing a little quilling, this little set's really nice because it's in a little purple box. I think I put a picture of it up on the group. And on one side, there's some nice tools. So you get like this little ruler, and you get some tweezers and a quilling tool and all that. And then on the other side, it has 2 sides. They give you a bunch of quilling paper. So I also keep some quilling paper in here. And then there's some cards and a couple of other little things in there. So this was a nice little set. I think it was around 20 bucks at Hobby Lobby. So if you think you might enjoy doing this, that would give you a whole bunch of different colors to play with, and then you could start, doing some basic quilling. Okay, so that's basically, though, all you need is the 1/8 inch quilling paper. So like that's what this red is, and a quilling tool. And the quilling tools are very inexpensive, and the paper is not very expensive either. Okay, so you don't need a lot of, because when I started doing this as a kid, I basically had, my quilling paper, and I found one of my packages of quilling paper. I have a bunch of my quilling paper from years and years ago, and most of them were marked 89 cents for a whole pack of paper. So you can tell those, I think I started doing this about 40 years ago, so I'm dating myself. So, the paper's a little more expensive now, but it's still, that's basically what you need, and a quilling tool. And I had Elmer's, the plain old Elmer's school glue. Now the glue that I prefer now, I love these little Elmer's Craft Bond precision tip glues. And you can get these, they have these in the scrapbooking department at like Hobby Lobby. And I like these because they have a little teeny tip, and I don't have to have my little piece of cardboard with a puddle of Elmer's glue and a toothpick anymore. I can just use the little tip of this to glue everything together. So it works really well. So this is nice. And oh, and by the way, that little set that I was telling you about, this little set, it actually has one of these in it also. I had taken mine out, I've been using it, so that's why it's not in there anymore. But there's one of those in there too. And that's really a nice little glue. I know Lynn likes this glue. This is that Scotch Creative Tacky Glue, and I do use this part of the time too, but the tip is a lot bigger, so it's harder to use this one for if you don't want to have a puddle of glue in a like a toothpick. So I like these because then I don't have to do that. Okay, so I'm going to use the Elmer's Craft Bond. Precision Tip is what it's called. These little tubes. Okay. And then you need a ruler. Now, what's nice about this, my ruler is right here on the bottom. I don't know if you can see it or not. Right here on the bottom of my mat, because my grids are on my mat. So I'm just going to use this as my ruler instead of having to have, I always had my old school rulers out to tell me how big my circles were. Because when we get to the patterns here in a second, I'm going to turn my page here. The way these patterns work is they normally will tell you how long to cut your quilling paper. So the patterns that I use, this is actually a little pattern book that is in that little quilling set that I showed you. And theirs is a little different. So they tell you how long to cut your paper, what kind of paper, you know, how wide, how long to cut your paper, and then they give you a number to make the circles, okay? The older patterns, and that number, that number that they give you in the case of that snowflake, it says the number 3. So what they're referring to is the circles on this little ruler, okay? Now, I didn't learn that with this fancy ruler that you can just drop your little coils into and they'll automatically, you know, just go out to the size you want them. I didn't have this fancy thing, so I'm going to show you the old-fashioned 40-year-old method here that I used a ruler, okay? So this is really cool. What I like this, but it's hard to get them out. I have to like do one at a time, drop it in there, and pull it out and glue it. And I like to like drop all of mine at the same time. So when I get to go in here, you'll see what I mean. So I don't use this much, but most of the patterns now refer to these numbers on the rulers from the different companies. And so like this snowflake said to make your coil the number 3, which is right here. And the number 3 is about a 5/8 inch coil, okay? So I kind of went through and looked at them and to figure out what sizes they were, because the old patterns that I'm used to using, and you're going to laugh when you see this. I'm going to show you my old pattern. So this one's in that little, this one has a whole bunch of cute little projects. Look at this. So it has like your basic instructions in the front, and then it tells you some of the names of the different shapes. But then it has all these little projects in here. And they're all set up to go into that little ruler so you know how big everything is. And there's all these cute little projects in here. And then they give you, in the kit, there's also all the little, the colors of quilling paper. So this is really fun. This is a really nice little set. And I really liked this snowflake, and it was very simple. So that's what one of the ones we're going to do. But I'm going to show you, this is my favorite patterns, okay? So my mother kept everything. And except somewhere along the line, all of my quilling tools disappeared. But she still had, this is my favorite patterns. These are the first Christmas ornaments I ever made. And a lot of you will remember Leeward's. That was a big deal to get that Leeward's catalog and all those cool craft projects, okay? So this was a craft, it was in a box. And I don't have the box anymore, but I do have look at this. I cut out the top of the box. And here's all the pictures of the little ornaments that are, all the patterns that are in this box. And I made tons of these. And my mother, like I said, kept everything. And this is the piece of paper that my mother wrote out how much we charged for each one of those little ornaments that I used to make. And we used to go to craft shows. So like I for the red candle, I charged $1. And for the candy cane, I charged 75 cents. Okay, so this is my mom's handwriting, and this piece of paper had all the ornaments written out with the prices that we charged for them. So I kept all this together. I thought it was cute. But what we're doing, one of the ornaments we're going to do is this is the poinsettia we're going to do tonight. And the instructions in here were in inches. So like, here's the poinsettia right here, and it says to make your strips a certain length, and then to roll them into like in this case 3/4 inch coils. So when I started doing this, everything was in inches instead of those little numbered rulers. So I'm used to doing it that way, and that's what I'm going to do. So yeah, so this is a very special little book for me with that. So that's one of the ones we're going to do. But I did actually make the pattern a little smaller to make it a little bit smaller for these cards, because they were a little bit too big, the size that they were. So, oh, and this is my other favorite book. You're going to laugh at this one. These are all Christmas or little snowflakes, and this was 99 cents. This little Christmas snowflake book. I've had this probably for 40 years. So I was able to find some of my favorite patterns anyway, and I'll show you a new one at the end. Okay. So I used that snowflake pattern out of the little book that came with the kit, but I made my own sizes because we needed to make it a little bit smaller. So what I did is I need to have 6 white marquees. And what a marquee is, I used to call them eyes, but a marquee is a coil that is squished down on both ends. Okay? So I'm going to show you how to make that. And then I cut those 6 inches. So I cut my paper 6 inches, and I'm going to make this marquee. And then these little hearts on the end, can you see the little heart? Okay, so I'll show you how to make that little heart. Those are, I needed 6 of those, but those are 3 inches. So this is going to be a 3-inch piece of 1/8 inch quilling paper, and this is going to be a 6-inch piece of quilling paper. Okay? So I did a few in advance so you wouldn't have to watch me do every single one of these, but I've got 3 more to do. So we're ready to do the quilling. So this is a 6-inch piece of 1/8 inch paper. Okay? Just like the ones I showed you down here. And I'm going to grab my small quilling tool, and I'm going to put the end of the paper in the slot. So I think I'm going to put my glasses on if I can find them. I also have to wear glasses now to do this. I didn't used to have to do that. Okay? So I'm going to hold this as close as I can. I'm going to find the little slot. I'm going to slide my paper into the slot, and I'm going to start to turn. And what I do is I turn it a little bit, and then I like to stick my thumbnail up against the paper so that it stays nice and tight. And I'm just going to turn. See how my thumbnail's right there? I'm just going to turn this till I get to the end. And these are going to be those marquees. I used to call them eyes. Depending on the pattern, they'll call them different things. So there's my coil, and I'm going to pop this off the tool, and I'm going to drop it on the mat. So I dropped it right here. Okay? So let's do another one. Because we need a total of 6 of these for this little snowflake. So I'm going to put it into the slot, turn it, and I've got my thumbnail right here. It helps me keep it straight, and I'm just going to turn it. Now they have all these fancy new things now, like battery-operated turners and all that stuff. So if you have trouble with your hands, go grab one of those. You can get those even at Hobby Lobby. So I'm just going to let it drop down here. This is how I've always done this. I don't measure them right away. I just I turn them and drop them. So I'm just going to turn this. Okay? And drop it. Okay? So there's the 3. I'd already done 3 of these. So here's the other 3 are over here. I already did some of them. Now let's do a heart. The hearts are super easy. I'm going to dump my little paper out. These were 3 inches. Okay? So to make those little hearts, the first thing you're going to do is fold the paper in half. Like that. So I folded it in half and I creased it nicely. And then I'm going to work with one side at a time. I am going to turn, instead of turning it all the way down, I'm going to turn halfway down towards the inside. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to slide that in there, and I'm going to turn my paper down. Can you see I'm going down towards the bend in the center, and then I'm going to pop that off like that. Then I'm going to do the other side and do the same thing. Second here. Quilling is a very simple art, but it's so beautiful, and you can get really, really complicated patterns. I did a grand piano one time. It's so pretty. I meant to bring it home with me, and I forgot. It's up at Mom and Dad's. So then I'm getting the other side. So I'm going in so that it looks like a heart, see? Like that. And I'm going to drop that one. To make it look more like a heart. So like right now, it doesn't look much like a heart, does it? So I have to kind of fiddle with it a little bit. Pull it up, and then I'm just going to squeeze it in the center again. And look, it just pops right out, and there's a heart. You see it? I'm going to do that a couple more times so you can see it. So we're going to put that. So you needed 6 of these, they call them marquees in this pattern. I always called them eyes. Depends on the patterns. They call them different things. Like if you look in the front of your instruction books, it'll tell you what the shapes are called for that instruction book. They're not always consistent. Okay, so let's make another heart. So I'm going to roll that one in, and I'm going to pop that end off. Whoops, there we go. And then I'm going to do the other side and roll it inward to make a heart. Can everybody see okay? I'm trying to keep my hands pretty close. I think it looks pretty decent on the screen, so hopefully you can see okay. So I'm rolling that one, okay, and I'm going to pop that side off. Okay, and to get it to look more like a heart, I'm going to hold this up. I'm going to grab that little corner, the little end where I squeezed it, and squeeze it like that, and see, it just makes it into a little heart. All right, got 2 of those done. Let's do the third one. So I'm going to fold this in half again. Now this quilling tool, if you can, I don't know if you can see the, yeah, can you see the slot? I'm trying to get the slot in there so you can see it. The slot is for 1/8" paper. Margaret, yes they do. This little booklet that this project's out of comes in that little starter kit, and they have other books there too, and they have kits, like kits that you get the paper and everything, and then instructions. So yes. So I'm going to go ahead and make another heart. Yes, Hobby Lobby actually has a pretty decent little selection of quilling stuff. And the other place that I get things, it's called quilling.com. They have lots and lots and lots of stuff. And then the other place is called Creative, what's it called? Quilled Creations is what it's called. QuilledCreations.com. And they have lots of nice stuff online. But quilling.com has coupons and stuff, so they're kind of cool. All right, so there's my other heart. I'm going to grab the center here and make my heart. There's my heart. Okay? So there's the other heart. All right, now we need to make those marquees. Get my glue out here. And the other thing that's nice about this is it has this little mat here, and then it doesn't stick too bad to things, and I can, if I get a little glue on it, I can wipe it up with a baby wipe. Okay, so I want my marquee coils to be approximately 1/2 inch. So the way I've always done this is I've always grabbed this, and once you kind of get your tension, it'll always be about the same. I've always just taken my coil and held it down to my ruler like this. So this is 1 inch, there's a 1/2 inch. Okay? That's how I've always done this because I didn't have all those fancy rulers when I was a kid. So this is how I did it. I got my 1/2 inch, put a little bit of glue on the end there. Okay? Now to make that shape, I'm going to take and get to the end of the paper, and I'm going to pinch right at the end of my paper. Now that is a teardrop. So sometimes you need that shape. Okay, so it's round on one end and pointed on the other. But this one needs to be pointed on both ends. So I'm going to grab it right straight across from the other one, and I'm going to pinch the other end. See how easy that was? And that's a marquee. I used to call them eyes. Okay, so we got one of those done. Let's do another one. So again, these need to be 1/2 inch coils. I'm just going to look on my mat here to see if I'm pretty good. Looks like it's pretty good. Okay. I'm going to put a little glue on the end here. And you don't want to overdo the glue. You don't want it all wet. And I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go, got the end there. I'm going to go right to the end of the paper. I'm going to squeeze the paper. So now it's a teardrop. And then it's going to be an eye or a marquee. Okay, so I'm going to squeeze the other side like that. So it's pretty easy. And we'll do a third one. I tried to pick things that were the same shape so you didn't have to do like a ton of different shapes with your first try. And if you like this, we'll do this again. It's kind of fun. I wanted to show you this cool book that I found that we could do some classes with that too, because it's kind of neat. Okay, so I got some glue on there. I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to go to the end of the paper. I'm going to squeeze right at the end of the paper, one end, and then I'm going to go straight across and squeeze the other end, like that. Okay, so there's the last one. Now, those are the last. I have needed 6 of these, so see, I've already got 3 of them done over here. Okay, so this is how I finish these over here. So the next step is you take your marquee, and we need to put the heart on the end. So I'm just going to take some glue and put a little glue on both sides of one end of my marquee. Then I'm going to take my heart, and I'm just going to stick it in the glue, hopefully if I don't drop it on the floor. Sorry guys. I have a drop seat tonight. There we go. Okay, so I'm just going to put that on the end of my marquee. And you have to hold it just a little bit. This glue really sets real quick, so I don't have to hold it very long. So see, I just kind of hold it on the tip, and I put the tip in where the little heart pieces came together, and then it's got the point of the heart out here, see? And that's one end of our snowflake. One of the little spokes on the snowflake. Okay, so we got that. We'll set that aside and let it dry for a second. Let's do another one. So I'm going to go put a little glue out here on each side of my one end. I'm going to grab a heart, and I'm going to slip the heart, the point of that, into the heart. Like that. Okay, and there's another one. Do the last one. Do the same gluing on both sides, and then I'm going to grab my little, whoop, going to have glue all over. Grab my little heart here, and then stick the little tip of my marquee into the heart. I think this one's a little bit crooked, so we'll pull it down a little bit. There we go. And what's neat about this, you know, not all of them are going to be exactly the same, but neither is a snowflake. Snowflakes are all different. Okay? So there's that. So we want those to dry just a little bit. So I'm going to let them finish drying for a second, and we'll go on to the poinsettia, because it's done with a similar shape. I like to let these dry for a little bit before I put them together so they don't come apart. So the poinsettia is 5 11-inch pieces of red. That's for the flower part. And these were 11 inches long. So these are going to be bigger coils. And I make 5/8 inch coils with these. So they're a little over 1/2 inch, okay? And then I'm going to need 5 green ones, and we're going to make those marquees again. And the green paper is 6 inches. So I made them just a little smaller. And then this one, we need some little coils in the center that are tight, that make the little, like the little seeds kind of in the, like the little center of the flower. Okay? And those are real short. Those are only 4 inches. And here's the 4-inch one. Okay? So I have the red ones are 11 inches. The green ones are 6 inches. And the yellow ones were 4 inches this time. Okay? So I've already done a few of them, but this is going to be the same shape, it's just going to be bigger. So I'm going to go, find my quilling tool here. I'm going to turn this 11-inch piece of red into a coil, and this one's going to be larger now. So we'll turn this one. And once you kind of get the hang of this, your tension's going to be pretty consistent all the time. I'm just going to let it drop. And then I'm going to grab another one here. Here's another one of those 11-inch pieces of red. Turn this one. Everybody's really quiet tonight. Are you concentrating hard? Turn this one. And pop this one off, and I'm just going to let it drop. And I already made a couple over here, so I didn't have to make them all. And this is the same shape we just made, but see how much bigger it is? Because we used a longer piece of paper. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead, I'll set these back over here, and then these need to be about 5/8 of an inch coil. So I'm going to pick up my coil, hopefully. And then I'm going to hold this down on my mat, and it needs to be a little over a 1/2 inch. Okay, so here's this one. Just watching me twirl paper. Okay, so I'm going to put a little glue on the red paper. But yeah, that little basic set at Hobby Lobby is nice because it has some patterns and it has some paper. Okay, so we're going to do the same thing. I'm going out to the end of the paper. I'm going to squeeze it. So see, there's the teardrop. Okay, and then I'm going to go to the other end and squeeze the other end and make that same shape. But see how much bigger it is compared to the white ones that we just did? Look at the white ones. So see, it's quite a lot bigger. All right? So I have to make 5 of these. So I've already made 3, so let's make one more. It needs to be about 5/8 of an inch. So I'm just going to hold this down on my mat here and get about 5/8 of an inch. Looks pretty close. About right there. And I'm going to use a little glue, pinch the end like that, and go to the other side. And there is another marquee. Okay? It is really fascinating, and it's not hard, and if you want to try it, it's just really not hard, and you don't have to spend a lot of money. I mean, if you get a $4 quilling tool and 1 package of paper, you can have lots of fun. So, okay, and then this is the green one. So these green ones are also marquees. So see, these are a smaller one too, like the white ones, the same size as the white ones. So these are like 6 inches. And we're going to make one more. I made 4 of those already, so you wouldn't have to sit here and watch me twirl paper all night long. Because I wanted to show you how to put it together too. So I'm going to twirl that one, and I'm going to drop that one. And now this one needs to be about a 3/8 inch coil, so it's going to be a little smaller. And I'm going to hold it up on my mat, and that looks about right there. And I'm going to do the same thing with this one. I'm going to make the same shape. So I tried to make things so you didn't have to learn too many shapes. And we're going to squeeze this one and squeeze this in. So there's the eye. That's the last one. I know, isn't it fun? And there's so many beautiful shapes. Wait till you see the book. I'll show you this one book at the end. It's so cool. Okay, now we need to finish the little yellow ones for the center of the poinsettia. So These are going to be what they call tight circles. This was 4-inch paper. And tight circles, you don't release them. Or you release them very little. So I'm actually going to roll it up, and I'm just going to release it just ever so slightly. So it's basically not released at all. Okay, and I'm going to pull that little piece up, put some tape, put some glue on it. Got a little bit too much there. Somewhere in oh, here it is. Napkin is. I always keep kind of a paper towel around, and then I'm just going to pull that over, and then I'm just going to roll it in my fingers to glue it together. And that's going to stay tight like that. Can you see it? If I put it in my hand, you can probably see it. Okay. And we'll do another one. I need one more. We needed 3 little things for the center. Okay, we'll do another one. It's very easy to get lost in this. I enjoy doing this, and I can sit, and I worked on this all afternoon. Oh, Cindy, it's going to be, yeah, it's going to be in the paper crafting department. I know it's there, but you are in a different state, so maybe they don't have it there. I know we have them here. Okay, so here's my glue, and I'm just going to pull that up. Is there something special? Yes, okay, so the paper is quilling paper, and it's kind of like scrapbooking paper. And yes, I think you could cut it with your scan and cut, but A, you can easily find it, and B, it's already cut, and C, it's only 1/8 of an inch wide, and I'm not sure how well the scan and cut will do to cut it. It is a special paper. It's a special consistency. So I just tell you to buy the scan and cut paper, or the quilling paper. It's not expensive at all, and it's all cut for you, and you don't have to go through all those 1/8 inch strips. Because most of the stuff you do is 1/8 inch. I would cut some maybe wider strips, because I don't usually buy like 1/4 inch strips, and I would probably cut that with my scan and cut. And you can buy quilling paper in sheets, so you can cut it with your scan and cut too. Some of the companies online have sheets that you can buy, and you can cut it yourself. Okay, so here is my marquise for the poinsettia. And we're going to put this together now. So let's put the poinsettia together first, and then we'll go back to the snowflake, because I wanted those little hearts to dry a little bit. Okay, so it's real easy to put this together. We're going to put the red together first. So to do this, we'll have to get the little yellow things out of the way. Okay, so I'm going to pick up one of the marquise. I'm going to put a little glue on both sides of one of the tips, like this. Okay, don't get overzealous with the glue. And then I'm going to glue another one to it, and I'm going to put another one up. I did 2 sides, so I'm going to put 3 of them together like that, with the tips in the center. So I just glued the inside tips together like that. Put the 3 together. Then I'm going to do another one. I'm just going to do one side this time, and I'm going to glue that to another one of these. Okay? And then I'm going to take this one, and I'm going to glue both sides of this one. And put this into the center. So I got the 5 pieces glued together. Okay. Yeah, Amazon has all kinds of quilling stuff. You can buy quilling paper. You can buy, you know, I just don't buy a lot on Amazon, so I bought most of my stuff. I mean, some of my stuff's really old, but I bought most of my stuff at Hobby Lobby just because it's handy. But now I know Amazon has all kinds of stuff on there. I saw it on there, so you can easily find quilling stuff. Okay. So see how easy that was? I just put a little glue on the inside, and I glued the insides together. And there's the 5 pieces. Now these are going to be the leaves. The green are the leaves. So I'm going to do the same thing with these. I'm going to put a little glue on each side of a green marquee, like that. And I'm going to put it in between the petals of my flower like that. And then I'm going to do another one, same way. Put some glue on here. I just love these little glue stick. I used to have to use a Q-tip for all this, and this is so much faster with these little tipped glues. So I'm going to go across here and here, and I'm going to put another leaf in here. Another little glue on here. Put a little leaf on. Like that. We're almost done. Oh yeah, Amazon has tons of, and eBay has a ton of quilling stuff too. Because I bought a lot of stuff. I buy more on eBay than I do on Amazon. So, okay, so there's that one. So look, there's the. I'm gonna let it sit there for a second before I lift it up, because I don't want it to fall apart. So I'm gonna let it sit here. Make sure it's not stuck to my mat. Okay. Then I'm gonna take my little my little circles here, and I'm going to put a little glue on those, and I'm going to put those in the center. There's one. Put a little glue on there. 2. Yeah, and Cindy, you can order on hobbylobby.com. They'll have that Zig 2-way glue pen on their website. I know they do. So you could order it. And you can order quilling stuff on their website and have it shipped to you, so you don't have to go. That's a long ways to drive. Mine's just down the street, so. Okay, so I'm going to push that down a little bit in the center, see if it's stuck to my mat here, and then I'll pick it up so you can see it. Look. And that glue sets up real quick. And they have these at Hobby Lobby, these little glue sticks, I know. But this glue sets up real quick, and that's what you want for quilling. The old-fashioned Elmer's school glue, though, worked just fine. I used it for years. That's all I had for years was an Elmer's glue. So there's the little poinsettia. Isn't that cute? And it's all the same shape, but different sizes. So the red ones, you cut 11 inches. And the green ones, you cut 6 inches. And the yellow ones were 4 inches. Okay? Of your 1/8-inch quilling paper. All right, so let's put the snowflake together. Then I'll show you how to put them on the cards. So we're going to let that dry for just a little bit. Okay, so here's the rest of our pieces over here for our snowflake. Now this one has 6 little, fingers that come out. So we've got the little hearts on the end, okay? And the little marquee. And I'm going to do the same thing to put this together. It's really easy. It's just like the other one. Let me get my tip cleaned off on my glue here. Okay, so I'm going to put glue on both sides of the first one. Okay, don't get overzealous with it. And I'm going to put one side here together and the other side on. So I've got 3 of them stuck together. I put glue on one and I stuck 2 more to it. Okay? And these are so delicate and dainty looking. I mean, they just are beautiful. And how inexpensive of a hobby this is. I mean, really, the paper and stuff is very cheap. And if you get on to quilling.com, the first time you order, they'll give you like a whole bunch of quilling paper. Okay, so I'm going to do another one here. They'll give you a whole bunch of packages. So the first time I ordered for there, I got like 10 packages of quilling paper. So I've got lots of quilling paper now. Okay, do one more. I just did one side on these. Okay, do one more. Here's this one. Okay, and then we need to stick one more in there. Okay, and then this one, I'm going to put glue on both sides. Whoops, got a little excited with the glue there. Okay, and then put that in there. And then kind of squeeze them together. And that is how you put the snowflake together. It's pretty simple. Hardest part is cutting the paper. So what I do when I cut the paper, I just, it says to cut it a certain size. I just have my little mat here, and I just cut them with I have a tiny little pair of scissors I have for just the paper. I just use my mat to help me. I just love this lighted mat. These are on the website too, so if you don't have one of these are awesome. And I like this. I've got this little one, and I've got a big one too. Okay, so there's our snowflake. What do you think? How did we do? There's a snowflake. They're so dainty looking, and they look so pretty on the tree. Also, I just made tons of ornaments. That's how I started doing this. That little kit that I showed you with the pictures and my mom's writing, that was the first thing I ever made, was all of those little Christmas ornaments. And in fact, I think I've got all of them still that we used to hang on the tree. I can't get a hold of my paper here just a second. I just cut my fingernails, so I can't get a hold of the thing. There we go. Okay, so here's our 2 cards. So I'm going to put the snowflake on the winter. Now I do like this this is that other Scotch tacky glue, and I like this better for putting the larger items onto the cards. So I've been using this for that, and this is really good glue too. But the tip's just kind of big for doing the little papers. So I want to put, let's do this one first because it's glued longer. Okay, I'm just going to take a little bit of this Scotch permanent tacky glue, and it's like a scrapbooker's glue. I'm going to put just a little bit. I think I got this at Walmart. Okay, I'm just going to put a little bit of glue on the back. I got a little excited there, and this dries clear. So, okay, then I'm going to decide how I want to put this on here. I'm just going to kind of audition it, see how it looks good. And I'm just going to glue it to my, trying to see, I got a little bit too much glue in here, so I was going to see if I could get it out with something. It dries real clear, so it's okay, but I just got a little wad of glue in there. Yeah. I don't normally use my quilling tool for that. I don't have a toothpick in here for some reason today. Okay. So then, see, I got a little bit of glue in here, but it'll dry clear. Right? So there's one of our little our little cards. That's why I like this other glue for it, because I need a little bit more glue when I'm putting on there. And then the winter one, let's put a little glue on this one. Put a little glue on the back. Like that. And I think I want to put it on, let's see, maybe like this. Yeah. You have to kind of pick which way you like it. You have to kind of lay it down there and put it on there the way you like it. And like I said, that glue will dry clear, so I got a little bit of glue right there. So, all right, and push it down. Make sure it dries nice. Okay, and then I've got a couple little. I wanted to put like a little, a little tag on these, or a little, ribbon on these. So I'm just going to put my ribbon. I think these are about 12 inches. And I'm going to push this through the hole, the fold of it. I folded it in half, and then I'm just going to pull the ends through. And there's my little tag, so I could put it on my gift, and then you could write on the back to who it's for and stuff. But that'd be an extra little present for him. Isn't that cute? I'll do the other one here too. And they're my little tags. Okay. So what do you think? You can try a little quilling? There's the 2 little cards. I made some other ones today too. Like the original ones were bigger. So like this is the original size. So you can see they're pretty big. They were a little bit too big for they still fit, but they were a little big on the card. Okay. So that was like the original size, and here's the original one for the snowflake. So I just tried a couple sizes, so I made them a little smaller. Here's the other one. This snowflake's a little bit big too. Oh, cool. Lynn's showing you that there's some little adapters for your glue bottles, so you have little teeny tiny tips on them. That's awesome. Thank you, Lynn. Okay, so these are all, here's all my little cards. I got all these little cards done. Look, I've got like 4 of each one. I had fun to say. I was just making cards. Look at there. So here's all my little cards. Had a good time. I don't have ribbons on all of them yet, but now I have some little gift tags for my presents this for Christmas. Okay. So basically, what I used was, the 1/8" quilling paper and a quilling tool. And the ones you'll probably be able to find at Hobby Lobby, or if you're going in someplace like that, is one of these longer ones like this. And I got this one on Amazon. No, I got this one on eBay. I like this one a little bit. There's not a rubber cover on it, so I like this one because it's a hard surface. It was a little easier to twirl. But my favorite one for this small paper is still this little metal one. And then I wanted to show you one other thing. Oh, let me show you 2 other things. So I showed you my 2 old, my Lee Ward's pattern and my old book that was 99 cents. Where do you get pretty ribbons like that? Oh, I got that at the Hobby Lobby, I think. I found something, and then if anybody wants me to, I can order these, just so you know. Okay, so what got me started in thinking about doing this class was I happened to be running through the catalog from Zaka Workshop, the purses we've been making and the purse book. They also have this paper quilling book. And all these different occasions are in there, and they have the 1/8" and the 1/4". There's 1/8" and 1/4" paper in the back and a quilling tool. Okay, and then all these beautiful patterns. There's just tons of different things. They're all different seasons, and there's Christmas and Mother's Day and Valentine's Day. All these cute patterns in here, and then how-to in the front. Okay. And I just thought this was so cool because it had all this different, and there's some new shapes that I've never done before, like these flowers. And I just thought this was a really cool book, and it had all kinds of different stuff. But what gave me the idea was that she did a bunch of the little gift tags with it. We just cut ours out with the scan and cut, but these were the little ones you can buy. You can just buy these little gift tags. But I thought this book was so cool, and it's like $20. It's $19.99, and you get quilling paper and a quilling tool with it. Isn't that cool? So anyway, that was one of the books. I haven't seen any nice new books for a while, but this one I can order for you. If anybody wants it, let me know and I'll order it for you from Zaka. Because I have to order some more purse clasps pretty soon, and I can order some of these books. But I just thought that was really a neat book. Then the other thing I wanted to show you is what I was doing today. We're going to have another scan and cut class next week, and we're going to make rubber stamps with the scan and cut. Not next week, next month, I should say. And I was playing around with a card, and I made this little baby card I cut the rubber stamps with my scan and cut, and then I cut out all the pieces. This is a rubber stamp, and I used the direct cut feature on the scan and cut to cut out and leave a little ridge around. So this is a stamp that I made, and then I cut it out so that it's 3-dimensional on the card. And then inside I stamped again and made a little cover on the inside. We could have written something in here. Okay, so I was playing around with the stamp, making rubber stamps with the scan and cut. I just thought that was so fun. And the rubber stamping kit has been discontinued from Brother. However, I still have a couple in the store, and you can find them online. I found some like on Amazon and stuff, so there are still some out there. They have this kit that has like a card that has activations for like 50 designs. But we'll talk more about it. I'm going to put a post up, but I just wanted you to see what I was doing today. I was working on this too. I thought this was fun. So I'm not quite done yet, but I've been working on the card. So that we'll do this at the end of August. That'll be the scan and cut class for August. We'll make rubber stamps. And the other thing I wanted to tell you, next month, the month of August, there are 5 Sundays. So when there's 5 Sundays in a month, I always get one off. So next Sunday is my Sunday off. So it's the 1st of August. So next Sunday there will not be a class. And on the 8th of August we will have the software class. So that'll be the software class on the 8th instead. So next Sunday there won't be a class. I get the week off. Okay? And then we will have, the software class will be the name pillow. And then on the 15th and 22nd of August, that will be that clasp purse that I put up, the little tote bag with the big clasp in the center. And the 29th will be the baby card. Okay? And we'll do that with the scan and cut. So that's what August classes are coming up. And I'll get this one advertised probably in the next couple of days. Okay? All right. So are there any questions? So everybody gonna make some quilling ornaments? I'd love to see them if you make some. They're really fun. Lynn's got a couple of really cool places you can pick up papers and stuff up on the comments for this video. So make sure you look at those too. So, okay. Any other questions? Sorry I kept you a little longer tonight, but I knew it would take a little bit to get all those pieces put together. I had a few of them done in advance. So, all right. So next week there's no class. Jan gets the weekend off, and then the following week on the 8th we will have software sessions on software. So, and if you have any questions about the quilling, you know, contact me at the store, email me, message me through Facebook. So, all right. Thanks everybody for coming and joining me tonight. It was just fun for me because this brings back a lot of memories because I've spent a lot of time doing this kind of stuff. So I really enjoyed my day too because I got to sit in here all day and play with my scan and cut. So, all right. So everybody have a good evening, and I will see you soon, I'm sure. So remember, next week we'll have a week off, and then on the 8th we'll have software. Thanks everybody. Good night.